How can I protect my wealth in divorce? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law. This is a question that came up a couple of weeks ago. I met with a gentleman who has a fair amount in assets and he is moving to a divorce. He's afraid that he's going to lose a chunk of those assets in the divorce, and he's wondering how he can protect himself. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to optimize your chances on property division. I want to preface this by saying that these are not guarantees. You have to remember that the court has a lot of discretion in property division. And so doing these things does not guarantee that you are going to keep more of your property, but generally I would consider these helpful. Number 1 is getting a prenup. And so if you are asking this question about protecting your property and you're moving toward divorce, chances are you don't have a prenup, right? Because if you had a prenup, then you wouldn't be as concerned because you already addressed this issue. But it's worth repeating and it's worth mentioning here because a prenup is really the only way to fully optimize your chances of getting what you want at divorce. So if you don't have a prenup, you fall into the default category where the court considers a number of factors and does what they can or what they think is best to fairly divide the property. So option 1 is get a prenup. If you don't have a prenup, then you can do the following. Option 2 is avoiding the commingling of assets. And so what that means is when you mix something that you own personally, whether it's money or an asset, with something that is owned jointly by you and your spouse, that is called commingling of assets, mixing of assets. And when you mix something personal with something joint, you increase the likelihood that the court is going to divide that property. Again, this is not a guarantee. This is not saying that if you keep money only in your individual account, that money will not be divided. In many cases, the court will order that money also be part of the marital pot and divided. However, especially in shorter marriages, if you reduce the amount of commingled property, if you keep more property only in your name, separate, away from marital property, then you increase your chances of the court allowing you to keep that and not dividing it. And finally, filing for divorce sooner rather than later. And so I want to preface this by saying that, of course, if there is a possibility of working through difficulties in your marriage and ending up happy in your relationship, then you want to do that first. But if you have decided that the marriage is not going to work and you are definitely getting divorced, then filing sooner rather than later and getting the divorce going effectively reduces the length of the marriage. And length of the marriage is, in my experience, one of the key factors. Generally, the longer a marriage, the more likely it is that the court is going to include all property for division, whether owned individually or jointly. So if you are moving toward divorce, you've decided that it's definitely going to happen, you should first consult with an attorney because there are circumstances in which it makes sense to hold off on filing for some period of time. But generally, on the issue of property division and protecting your wealth and assets, it usually makes sense to file sooner rather than later. So if you have any other questions about this, you can call us 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to our channel and share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. And you can also find us on social media at Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.